Sudah nggak sabar ya, hari ini saya sudah bersama dengan Pawel ya dan Ryan ya. Untuk apa? Untuk kita sharing tentang satu konsep yang namanya Semantic Seo ya. Saya harap ya rekan-rekan di sini bisa greeting ya, kalau kalian di YouTube, hai YouTube ya. Halo Facebook dan lain sebagainya. Ya, halo LinkedIn ya. So kita broadcast dari beberapa tempat ya, dan saya benar-benar berharap 1 jam ini kita akan mulai sebuah perjalanan baru, sebuah mindset baru, dan semoga memperkaya para praktisi SEO untuk melakukan optimasi dengan melakukan yang namanya semantic SEO dan entity analysis. Oke, sudah siap? Oke, boleh tahu? Ada mungkin bisa tulis di chat. Hai dari mana? Ya, semoga saya bisa ketemu beragam audiens yang excited untuk topik hari ini. Ya, hai Tommy. Wow, dari LinkedIn. Ya, hai Tommy. Ada lagi rekan-rekan? Wah, ini kita karena kalau stream itu ya, saya mesti cek juga nih. Apakah di Facebook jalan, ya, ataukah di YouTube jalan. Jadi kalau ada rekan-rekan yang bisa say hi, ya akan bantu saya untuk ngecek ya, oh ternyata jalan di sini, oh ternyata jalan di situ ya. Oke, ya, kita akan mulai ya. Saya akan melakukan countdown dan kita akan mulai topik kita tentang semantic SEO dan entity analysis ya, bagaimana konsep berpikir dari sudut pandang search engine akan merubah cara kita melakukan pemasaran berbasis search engine optimization. Oke. See you dalam 10 ya. Hai rekan-rekan ya, ini sebagai bukan bagian dari Google Ads sebenarnya. Saya salah pasang film, tapi it's okay ya. So saya bersama dengan Pawel dan Ryan sebentar lagi akan join, dia lagi izin sebentar. Hi Pawel, how are you?
Hi.
For spending your time with us. Yeah, I believe you're in Poland right now.
Yes.
Yeah, what time is it there?
It's about 2 p.m. So it's just after the lunchtime. Yeah.
After the lunchtime, yeah. So it's quite killing time where the carbo kicks our stomach. Yeah. So
but we'll be fine. We will be fine.
Yeah. Okay, I will. Hi audience. Wow, ada Bro Andika juga nih. Yeah. So everyone, something that very interested about this topic right now about semantic and entity analysis is we have Pawel, and I believe who already study about this just before the webinar. I asked Pawel like how long he has been doing SEO, and this is the experience from 20 years plus of SEO expert. So I believe we will have some solid information. Jadi informasinya bakal solid karena Pawel sudah 20 tahun ya dalam industri ini. Dan saya nggak sendiri, di sini ada Ryan Kristo Muljono.
Semuanya.
Ya,
Hai Bro Viktor.
Salah satu inisiator dari Seocon ya, yang sebentar lagi nih, sebentar ya, saya kasih sedikit gambaran. Ya, yang sebentar lagi juga, gimana sih ini layarnya? Gini aja ya. Yang sebentar lagi ya akan mengadakan sebuah event yang namanya Asiacon Forum ya.
Asiacon Forum, betul banget. Nanti ya, tanggal 1 sampai 3 Desember.
Ya, jadi kita akan having fun ya, kalau kalian mau kita ketemu di Bali nanti ya. Dan I hope Pawel will be there as well, but not promise ya, but hope so ya. Dan sedikit gambaran tentang Pawel ya. So Pawel adalah sebuah founder ya, dia running sebuah IT software house ya, I think application ya, yang bisa melakukan semantic SEO analysis melalui konten analysis ya. Jadi softwarenya namanya Neuro Writer ya. Dan nanti buat kita semua yang hadir di webinar kali ini, kalian berkesempatan mendapatkan 1 license ya Neuro Writer secara gratis ya. Dan kalian harus tunggu sampai akhir karena ada informasi yang sangat-sangat menarik buat kita yang mau menggunakan Neuro Writer nantinya ya. Tapi hari ini kita nggak jualan software ya. Kita hari ini mau lebih banyak bahas tentang the man behind the gun, tentang how semantic SEO, semantic analysis ya bisa menjadi salah satu kunci kita melakukan SEO dengan cara atau dengan normal baru ya. So Pawel ya, I believe you have a lot of information to share. Yeah, can you start share? Yeah, perhaps we can start to hear about what's your insight about semantic SEO. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I believe I share my screen. It will be very, very quick overview about what the semantic SEO is and how Google, and not only Google, how in general the NLP works. So NLP is just like trying to understand what is your topical authority. It's more like trying to understand what the people says by the machines. So it will be very short, and later if you have questions about the semantic SEO or questions about the Neuro Writer, which is a product which helps you to write according to the semantic SEO recommendations, then we can go into the Q&A and we can do this this kind of feedback on the Q&A. Okay, so first of all, why this is so important? Because it's working. Semantic SEO is working on the day one. So if you just write the content or optimize the content according to the SEO recommendations, the semantical recommendations, you will see the improving the in your traffic, in your positions from the day one. So I mean, it's really very, very effective. We will go into the details why this works like that, but this is a few examples. Here is the example of the Neuro Writer, one of the first users. He just optimized one of the pages and had 63% traffic in one day. Here is the one of the agencies, which is working also with us already about 2 years, maybe 1.5 years. And they start the service from the 0 to 1 million users in a year. Also with the semantic SEO from us, and we are working with the big brands like, for example, Decathlon, where they optimize the e-commerce websites. And here is the example of one of the category pages with the snowboard jackets when they have 42% of increase on the visibility level. And why this is working so well, and why this is like no-brainer for every content writer, for every person who is using the SEO as a main income, I would say, or a sales channel. So the machines are very, I would say, very simple. So they just try to understand the content that they have and try to understand if this content is helpful or not helpful. So they are matching the content with the intent that we have. So you are going to Google, and in Google you are trying to find the expert. And Google try to find the expert for you. This is what exactly Google try to do. Yeah. So you're asking, okay, hey Google, where I can buy a best pizza? And Google will try to give you the information about the best pizza or a best shoe or a best, I don't know, car, whatever you would like to do, whatever you would like to achieve. They provide you the information about the content and how this works in general. So very brief overview. We are talking a lot about the NLP and what the NLP is. I will just explain you. NLP is just a language processing. So everything what machines are doing with our language as a human language. So they just process the language. So they scrape the websites, they divide the language into the entities, and they try to understand what kind of entities they have, and so on and so on. So this is like a processing. It's just a data mining, to be honest. Yes. So they are mining the language as a human language and try to process this language to be simple. This is very, very important, to be as simple as possible, so the machines can understand it and machine can somehow compare this content to each other. Then there is NLU, which is a part of the machine learning, and NLU means language understanding. So it's natural language understanding. And this means like more like, okay, how we understand the language, how we understand what you would like to say, what is the sentiment, what kind of questions do you have? Is a question already or whatever it is. So they try to really understand from the content that they pre-process. They try to understand what kind of content, how to understand this content, and what kind of content they have. And then we have the last part, which is called NLG. And this is the language generation, because they already understand the language, they understand what you are asking for, so they can generate the, for example, response. And that's mostly, this is like text generation, chats, voice generations, and so on. And image generations as well, lately, yes, it's working very well. Okay, so we will dive right now into the Google, how Google works exactly, and it's based on the Google patents and Google communication. So first of all, what you have to understand as a, let's say, content creator, that Google has three main factors, which is called EA. So it's like expertise, authority, and trust or trustworthiness. And they are always looking in every document, every page in the same way. So like, this is something that we would like to recommend. There is expert there. It's from the trust that we can, it's from the source that we can trust. It has an authority and so on. So they are trying to figure it out, trying to score the content according to these elements. And we can, on the SEO level, on the SEO semantic level, we can just map this to three main elements. First of all, how they recognize the intent and how they feed the intent into specific elements on the website. What is the preferred document type? Because not every intent should be answered with the same document type. I will go into this later. And also they try to figure it out what is the best document for specific intent. And here, what is the really important, they are very careful looking for something what they call knowledge gap. So they are trying to understand if in your article, it's something better than in articles of the competitors. If there is a better overview of the subject, more details, so you have the expertise knowledge. So this is where they are looking for the expertise. So we have three elements: the intent, then the document type, and then we have the document as a document, which should be optimized for semantic SEO. And then, of course, all those three give you the behavioral signals, which are very good. And then you have the higher rankings, which means your content will be much higher in Google. I will just go very briefly about this. So Google use something on the intent level, what they are called micro moments. So you have a search. During your search, you can search for different things, like you can start from, I don't know, let's say trip to Europe, and then you can add like how much cost hotel in Paris. So this is your search, micro moments during the search. And for every of the micro moments, they align that there is a different intent and different document types should be presented to the audience. And then how they understand if your intent, how they understand your intent, and how they also understand if the documents that they have are good for recommendation for a specific intent. So this is also from the Google patents. So they score the intent that you have during the search. So you are searching for something, and they try to understand what you are searching for, and they give some kind of percentage on this. So we understand in 70% that you are searching for X. And then they also do the same kind of mapping and scoring on the document level, and they say something like, okay, we understand that this document, this page, it's in 65% about X. And they, of course, they map the intent and the document, and they give you the recommendations. But of course, we were talking that NLG and NLU are working to translate the human language to a machine language. Because every human is different, and we have a lot of information in our brain that machines don't have. So Google and other search engines as well, they have to have something which will translate our language a little bit better to a language for machines. And this is why, for example, they have an internal synonym system in Google. It's a very, very old system, built like 20 years ago. It's still working. Now it's powered by AI as well. But they understand that if you are communicating about, for example, cycling tours in Italy, then you just meaning like you would like to go for bicycle tour in Italy or maybe in Piedmont or whatever, Pisa. So this is something where they understand really fully what is your intent, even if you just say this differently. We had a discussion here about the keywords, if the keywords are important or they are less important. And we are seeing here exactly in this slide that the keywords as a keyword are less important than your intent. So if Google understands that your document is about cycling tours in Italy, even if you do not use the cycling tours in Italy, it will be still recommended for the people which, for example, would like to go for bicycle holidays in with Italian or whatever. Yes. So they really understand what kind of documents and mapping of the document and the query should be done. So they understand the query by simplification, and then we have the similar process on the document level. So they crawl the raw text, and they just extract the sentences from the text. Then they do something which is called tokenization, and tokenization is just splitting the text, the sentences in the smaller parts. It could be like 2-3 words, for example. Then they are tagging the part of the speeches, like there is something that gives the information and something which is very common, which don't really give the information. So they are trying to understand the language, trying to understand what is important in the document. And then from this, what they have, they do the entity detection. And this is very, very important, because entity detection, it's something where they really understand what is the comment about. So this is the meaning of the document. So it's similar to this, what we do in the neuron writer, when you have this sidebar with the entities, with the terms, and then you have the terms and you understand, okay, you have to use those terms to build the content in the way that the machines will really understand the content, what the content is about. Yes, so we are talking here about this kind of recommendation on the entity detection. And then, of course, they do relation detection. The relation detection, it's more important when you are building topical expertise. So they understand, okay, how far is, I don't know, the president, the name of the president, from the city, from the government, from his wife, and so on and so on. So they really understand how far you are from word to word, from entity to entity, and what kind of information should be presented by topical authority. Because topical authority is also very important. If you write more about the same subject and you have expert content, then each new content will rank better. And this is something that probably you already seen, that there are some domains which have very high expertise, and then you can just write whatever and it will rank very well. Okay, and what happens later? So we are talking about intent, and we are talking about the document, and both are simplified already. Yes? So to be honest, Google do not really keep the HTML as you think. They just keep when they are doing the mapping with the intent and the document, they are really more use the tokens than the document. Yes. So on one side we have this token repository and lexicon, and lexicon is just like vocabulary for specific subject. On the other side we have a query. So there's what they understood from user intent. And they are trying to map the tokens from the document with the tokens from a query. And this is exactly how this looks like. So we have a query. The query is splitted by the tokens, and they give the percentage here how strong in the query is the intent. So they understand, okay, this query is about tropical fish. The user are searching for a tropical fish. Yeah, in general, this is the highest intent. And on the other side, on the document side, they have a document when they also extract the entities from this document, these tokens, and they see that in 22%, this document is about tropical fish. It's a little bit about the seaweed as well, some kind of, I don't know, tropical fish as well, but tropical fish, this is the way how the document is built. This is the main information on the document level. And this is what they do. They just map the query, so they understand what the query is about, to the best document. Of course, it's not a one document, it's a set of the documents, because user has to choose the best options. They don't really understand what is the best option for the user. Sometimes they understand, and then we are talking about the snippet 0, like a 0 results. But this is what they do. They just map the query to the document level, and they present the information. So this is what I exactly tell you, that there is like this ranking engine, and then they score how the information that they already recommend to the users, which is the SERP results layout, are working for the end user. If he's happy or not happy, he's searching more or less, and then they evaluate the score. So they say like, okay, it was a good document, but the users weren't happy, so we will do this kind of, A/B testing again for the next user to try to figure it out if this is user, if this is a challenge on the user level, or this is a challenge on the document quality level. So this is, in general, very, very high overview why the semantic SEO right now is so important, because everything is basically relied on the machine learning technology, and it will be more and more visible for example, in the search, like Google. So of course we still mostly search by text, but it will change because there's a lot of queries which are voice searches. So it will be more and more voice searches, and the preparation that Google are doing are exactly for the voice search. So they are trying to, because voice is much more common and much more easier for users to communicate. So they are really trying right now to rebuild the way how the AI works, how the algorithm works, to be very, very efficient on the voice level. So as you remember, on the one time we had a mobile first, and they understand if the version of the website is good for mobile, it's good for the desktop as well. And it will be something when they will do the same kind of research for the voice, when the query is good for voice and the document is good for voice, and it will be good for the text as well. So they are just trying to figure it out, the best option for the voice, for the voice research, and single answer. Because in the voice search, you have a single answer. So you're asking what is the, I don't know, the weather, and you get the answer. The weather is ABCD. So this is something which will happen in the future. But for now, I hope you understand why this is so important to get the correct optimization. And I believe I will just close this here. We will see what kind of questions do you have. Because yeah, I have a few slides more, so we will see if this is enough.
Okay, Pawel, is there any slide you like to? Okay, let me summarize a bit, to our audience. Well, we have quite numbers of viewers in our LinkedIn. Actually, wow. Okay, so jadi gini intinya semantic SEO itu adalah sebuah teknik untuk mempelajari meaning dari sebuah dokumen. Karena tadi Pawel sudah explain bahwa Google itu mencari apakah artikel kita membantu atau tidak. Jadi dia mesti tahu meaningnya. Nah, bagaimana sistem bisa tahu meaning? Salah satunya dengan proses yang tadi sudah dilihat Ada beberapa proses yang sifatnya teknis di mana Google itu tidak mengindeks semua, kayak situs kita tuh tidak semuanya diindeks. Dia cuma ambil beberapa kata-kata. Nah, beberapa kata-kata yang penting menurut Google itu namanya entity atau entitas Jadi entitas itu adalah sesuatu yang bisa dideskripsikan. Nah, itu dihitung tuh ya kata-kata entitasnya membentuk sebuah topik tuh pendekatan seperti apa. Tadi sudah dijelaskan ya, ada dokumen scoring namanya. Ya, nah dari situ dia lihat query-nya, dia lihat entitas dalam query, dia akan mencoba mempelajari makna dari atau maksud dari orang yang mencari query, dilihat dari scoring-nya, kemudian di matching. Nah, kira-kira seperti itu. Nah, intinya adalah ya, the point is we all must understand about entity in our document, yeah, because that's important for search engine to know the meaning of our page, ya. Ya, tambahan ya. So I would like to get a quick demonstration, yeah, about the entity, yeah, Paul. Let me explain to you a quick demonstration. So this is the entity. This is a paragraph with Google Natural Language, ya. So you can, kita semua bisa analisa di sini, bisa kelihatan ya dari menurut engine Google, ya, bahwa di sini ada entitas, ya, ada entity di sini yang Google akan lihat ya dari sini kira-kira entitasnya apa saja gitu ya. Sorry, so saya akan coba ulang lagi, ya. Nah ini menarik nih, ini sangat-sangat menarik ya. Nah, habis itu kita lihat di neuron seperti apa. Nah ini ya, jadi di sini bisa kelihatan ya entitasnya bahwa Google adalah organisasi, Mountain View adalah location, ya, Android adalah consumer good dan lain sebagainya. Ya. Satu hal yang saya kasih tips ya dari presentasi Pawel daripada entitas ini. Jadi selain daripada Google memprediksi entitas, ya, saya kasih satu rahasia nih buat teman-teman penulis ya. So saya tulis nih, saya sering kasih demo ini. Misalnya I work at Doxadigital. Ya. So Google tahu Doxadigital adalah entitas, but others, ya. Artinya apa? Artinya dia sudah tahu bahwa ini adalah sesuatu. Tapi mereka nggak tahu ini apa. Tapi ya, kalau saya ganti ini dengan D besar, kita tahu bahwa Doxadigital adalah organisasi. Artinya di sini kita belajar bahwa saat kalian berpikir tentang entitas, kalian harus tahu, ya, kalau huruf besar itu bisa ngaruh pada hal-hal penting, ya. Sama seperti gini, misalnya I ate bread, ya, I ate bread, ya. Google tahu bread adalah other. Tapi saat kita bilang I ate my bread, ya, Google tahu ini adalah consumer goods, ya. Tapi kalau I ate bread seperti ini, kemudian kita ganti dengan huruf besar, dia tahu bahwa ini adalah consumer goods, ya. Ini menarik sekali ya saat kita bicara entity. Ini berubah cara saya menulis konten gitu ya. Dan saya ingin ya rekan-rekan di sini ya, para pemirsa ya, bahwa menulis konten berdasarkan entitas ya. So writing a content with entity mindset, yeah, will help you rank better. Why? Because the context of your page will be easily processed by search engines, right, Pawel? Yeah.
Yeah, even more, I would say, first of all, because this what we are talking about, the semantic SEO,
yeah,
it's indeed communication to a machine. So this, as you have to really understand that you have two main users of your content, of your document. So the first one is the person who is a real person who could be your customer, and he or she is reading about your product. And this language can be very funny, like, yeah, buy it because it's cheap and you will have a lot of fun. And if you are communicating like this to your friend, maybe he will buy it, yes. But if you say this to the machine, he will, first of all, not understand what you are selling, why the product should be bought by other users and so on. So if you are communicating to a machine, and if you would like to communicate to your users through Google, then you have to help the machines to understand your content. So when you are communicating to, let's say, to machines, then you have to use the vocabulary in the way how the machines can proceed with this vocabulary, yes? So then you have to add a little bit more context, you have to add a little bit more of examples. Maybe if you have a product, you have to add the parameters, like, for example, you are selling the cell phone, then maybe you should add like how many pictures you can do, or what is the, I don't know, battery lifetime, and so on and so on. So all the information that can be understand by machines, they will just increase your chance that you are get better scoring on the machine level than your competitors. You can do very easy exercise with if you are on the school, for example, and you are writing some kind of notes, or I don't know, whatever, you have some kind of exam, and then on this exam, for every very good word, you have 1 point. Yes. So
Yeah.
if you have a lot of words which are related to the topic, you will have, I don't know, 90 points. And this is exactly the same way how the machines works. They are trying to read your document, and the document in the Google eyes, because I see here is the question about the document. What is the document? The document in the Google, it's a single URL with extracted data. It could be a PDF file, it could be a video file, because it's also single URL. It could be a page, it could be landing page for e-commerce, but they extract the content from it, and then they just do the separation of the entities. So on the end, they have the URL as a document and the entities which are in this document, which will be like what they keep is the entities that you score for. So
Yeah.
they will say like, okay, like in your example, only entity that they recognize was bread, for example, and the rest was just throw it away because they don't need it. This means anything. You can throw away bread, you can eat bread, you can, I don't know, sell bread, or maybe with the sell, they will also understand what you do. But yeah, this what was important, it was about the bread, yes. So
Yeah,
this is exactly how they process the information.
So yeah, let me summarize in bahasa ya. So rekan-rekan Standout ya, rekan-rekan webinar ya. Jadi pada dasarnya kalau kita berpikir selama ini berpikir ya, Google itu pinter loh mau analisa konten ya. Nah ini cara pinternya, salah satunya menurut paten Google adalah dengan melakukan token ya. Jadi setiap entity itu punya nilai. Jadi satu topik itu kita bayangin satu informasi topik ya, itu ada nilai-nilai penyusun, entitas penyusunnya yang mesti kita rangkai ya. Jadi kira-kira nanti semakin tinggi entitasnya, semakin berdekatan entitasnya membuat sebuah informasi, disitulah skornya kita besar. Jadi dibilang ya kayak kita ujian aja, semakin banyak poin bagus ya, skornya semakin tinggi ya. Jadi kira-kira seperti itu ya saat kita berpikir sebagai search engine ya, bagaimana memproses informasi. Oke, sampai sini. Bro Ryan, do you have anything to add, Ryan?
Yeah, this is interesting. I learned about this semantic actually in 2007. The first time I learned, they call it LSI, Latent Semantic Indexing. I think
LSI, I don't know. Wow, LSI and semantic, it's different. The latent semantic indexing and semantic SEO?
No,
is it the same or
not really, because if you like, we can have another webinar, then I can just explain you how the algorithms in Google evolve. And of course, this what was on the very beginning. It was understanding more on the Levenstein level. So the Levenstein is the mechanism where you can understand how far the words are between two of sets of the words. So how far it's run from the running. And this was very basic. So they don't really have entity recognition. They just use very basic mechanism for understanding and for density. And this is why, for example, keyword stuffing was working, because then you add 78 times keyword A, and you rank better than someone who has 60 times keyword A on the page. It was very basic, very statistic. And that was the start of the algorithm, how they really score the documents. So they look for the keywords, keyword here, keyword there, and they just give you points for the keywords. But of course, later, when they have a bigger database of the documents, they can build the relationships between the entities. Yes, so they start to build something which was it's still known as a knowledge base and a knowledge graph. So the knowledge graph, it's a technology used by Google as well, where they can understand if you have a subject about something. For example, it's a subject about freediving. So you have a topic about the freediving. Then you have in the freediving, you will have equipment for the freediving. You will have freedivers. You will have some champions, like or places where you can go for the freedive. You can have some trainings and so on and so on. So they understand on the topical on the knowledge graph, on the topical level, they really understand how to recognize the expert. So the expert is not someone who will say freediving 78 times, but the expert is someone who will just cover the topic like a book, and they go from the chapter 1, let's say, I don't know, what is freediving, chapter 2, how can I start, chapter 3, safe, not safe, whatever is there, or equipment, yes? And they will understand, okay, if they cover 75% of this, what we are seeing as a topical authority, this is a very good article. If they cover 80, it's better than 75. So it was just like from starting from the very, very basic, when they really do only the statistical part, from the density part for LSE, it's still density, LSE or TDI, whatever, it's still density. And then now we have the AI, and the AI is the last, I would say, last algorithm updates, where they try to understand not only the knowledge graph, but also the variations of the knowledge graph. So that's something when you have the running, or the shoes model can be vary, and so on and so on. So they try to really understand on the semantical level how to deliver the information.
Yes.
So I believe the semantic SEO on the end, it's a little bit like LSE, but just the database, it's way bigger. Yes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So that's the most interesting part, because I learned it from the early beginning. Maybe it's only the ancient way of this all new stuff. But at that time, it's only learned on English. So the English part, they're gathering all the data. Now I want to ask regarding our language. So welcome to Indonesia.
Bahasa Indonesia.
We are talking in bahasa. We call it bahasa. I don't know whether you ever see or ever read bahasa as a sentence or as a paragraph.
Yeah, I have seen, but I cannot read it. But I have seen it.
Yeah, you can see it. So at that time, I also teach some of SEO's practitioner, and when we talk about this LSI or NLP or semantic, the biggest question is whether Google as a machine understand our language or not. But what I understand, if we are the one who create a good content, then our content will be the token that is calculated as the good entity in the database. The question is, how far are we in your you are the one who have the data, how far are we from the ancient until now? Is it good enough to is it good enough for Google to understand in bahasa, or they are still learning to understand what we are saying in bahasa or any language? What is your experience? How long will they understand well until we can optimize it through this semantic level?
Yeah.
So
And also, Pawel, perhaps you can add, like now you can do entity analysis or NLP analysis with Bahasa Indonesia, right? Even
yes,
there's no
yes,
agent
of
for
course.
that, yeah. So yeah, perhaps adding to Ryan's question, like how you broke the entities, do the stemming and everything in Neuron Writer. So
I will go a little bit lower to the basics, how the Google search works. Every search works the same way. And look, it's very simple. So you are going to the, let's say, library, because the Google is like a big library, and you ask them, let's give me the best book about, I don't know, about freediving. And you are going to the library, which is in the US, yes, in the capital, in Washington, and you ask, okay, what do you have about freediving in, I don't know. And they give you, of course, the English document, yeah, English book, and then this what they knew the best. But this doesn't mean that they don't really understand other languages, because it will be the same process if you go to library, let's say in the Malaysia or Indonesia or I don't know, somewhere there, and you ask the same question, like give me the book about the freediving, what you have the best. And they will give you the book. And of course, they will give you the best book about the freediving from in Malaysian, let's say, or in Indonesian or whatever, yes? So this exactly is the process what Google is doing. So Google try to understand what is your question, what you are asking for, and the word will be freediving, yes? And then they are looking for the documents which are talking about the freediving, and they give you those documents like the books that you can choose from. So the results in Google are really a recommendation that you can go in the book A, B, C, D, or article A, B, C, D, page A, B, C, D, to read about this topic. And it's not dependent on the language, to be honest. It's completely independent on the language. It's only dependent on the query and the documents that they have in the specific language. And this is very important because some, of course, if you look in general on the World Wide Web, on the internet, it's about 75, sometimes they say 80% of the web, it's in English. So if we are thinking about the English database, this is the largest database that they have. So, but this doesn't mean anything on your language level, yes? So Google learns every day your entity connections, so connections between this what we have seen on the NLP from Google, yes, like, okay, what are the connections between the elements in your local language by analyzing those documents. So if we have the freediving and they analyze 1,100 or 100,000 documents about the freediving, they already understand what are the entities which are related to the freediving in your language, in your native language. Of course, they can be a gap there. So, for example, you're not writing about, I don't know, you're writing about freediving, but not freediving with, I don't know, boat because it's not popular, let's say, yes? So, of course, this is something that they will not see. It's like, for example, politician name or something like this, which is very local, or a city name. So it will be still missing in the vocabulary, in your language. And then, of course, if you add it, then they will understand, okay, then they do it as well. It is the same structure. So I believe this is not really related to how they understand the language. It's related to this, how many documents do you have on the specific topic that the Google can choose from and recommend you. And this is also why the tools like our tool, specifically when we have a good database, and we have a good database, can give you a very good recommendations how to improve your document, not only based on this, what your competitor are writing, but also on some extra points, like, for example, Google questions and so on, because Google also try to collect the information from different sources. Google also collects the information from YouTube, from the searches like voice search, from the apps, and so on. So they are trying to use all the channels that they own to expand this machine learning technology. So I hope this is clear, yes, but in general, this is very simple. So you are going to the library and you are asking, give me, I don't know, book about ABCD, and they just give you books about the ABCD. And if this ABCD is very unpopular in this library, you can imagine you are going for, you have a religion A, and you go to the library when there is a religion A only, and you ask for the book about the religion B. And probably they will say, wait, we don't have it. We don't have this kind of information in our database, yes? But that's something that you can always improve. It just really document database. It's very easy, and especially, I mean, this is also what you can do. You can always change the query. So if we are talking about the freediving, for example, so you can ask freediving, I don't know, Jakarta, let's say. I don't know if there is a freediving in Jakarta. Probably there is something like a training could be or something like that. And if there is not enough information about freediving in Jakarta, then you can always ask freediving, I don't know, like Bali, when there is probably much more freedivers, and the vocabulary and the books will be much more on the expert level, yes? So if you just change this to the query, which should give you more information, then you can improve your content. And then, of course, you can write about free diving in Jakarta in the same way like it could be like in let's say Bali and so on.
So it's basically also depends on us or on our audience, who is the content writer, who's seeing this as the opportunity. So they are the one who added the entity into the database. Maybe they will increase the authority, the EAT, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, and then they can, well, at least at the SEO world, you can rank better.
Yeah, exactly. This is because Google don't have their own content. All the content that they have is the content generated by users. And this is also why they are now trying to force the visibility of this, what they call helpful content. Because, so because they understand that if they have the content which is just regenerated, for example, there are no new information in this content. So they already have this information. So it's like, you just have one article and you just push this, plug this into some kind of mixer, and you have 100 articles which are just saying the same with different words. It's like, it's the same story. Let's say you have a story and then 100 people will tell this story and everyone will tell this story a little bit different, but the story is the same. So they understand that this is something that they don't want. They don't want to have 100 the same stories. This is what they have, what they want to have. They want to have extra information on the expert level. So if they found new, better entities in your content, and this as a content creator, you can do this, they will say like, your story is better, because normally the story ends, or I don't know, they do something and then you can add something from your side. Okay, but yeah, but it was 2 years later, happens this and this and this, and your story is way better than the story before. So this is exactly the way how Google looks on the entity level. Yes, if you just have more entities which are still related to this topic, you are better expert than the other documents, and they are looking exactly for this. For this is this helpful content update.
Yeah. Okay, Pawel, there's a question from our audience, and perhaps this is also the time if you have to a bit like demonstrate, put the concept into practical ideas. So the question is from Wisnu Wardana. He said that he write about semantic SEO from SEMrush, that we as a SEO practitioner is not focusing on keyword instead of topic. So can you explain and how to do this? Perhaps this is also the time if for someone who like to do research and write a content with Neuro Writer. Perhaps you can also provide us some kind like quick demonstration. So we still say that. So now practitioners should focus on topic, not keyword. So can you explain a bit more on that? And perhaps this is also the time for you to, if you're able to, like demo, like a bit demo about how we do this on Neuro Writer.
Yeah. So I believe I will just go back to the one of the decks in the presentation. So we were talking like, why not keyword but a topic? Because here it's exactly, and this is from the Google onboarding, which is called like life of the query. They are not really looking for the specific keyword. They are looking for the user intent. And user intent, it's related to a topic. It's not always a topic per topic, but it's more on the user intent in specific topic. We were talking about like, I'm willing to go for holiday somewhere, and then I start to search for, I don't know, best holiday destination in the country, like let's say Mexico. And then you go into the deeper and deeper and deeper analysis, and you ask like how much hotel cost in, I don't know, somewhere. So they really try to do this on the topic level, and it doesn't really matter what kind of words you are using. I can explain you something here or show you something here. look, you can search for something like so you can just do something like animal milk. You have already the animals which give milk, yes, and you can have something like, okay, whatever, yeah, but you don't really have to use the word like a cow or something like this. And then if you just go for animal drinking milk, you have the elements, so they know exactly. You don't use the word cat or dog or whatever. They have the information about the animals drinking milk, yes. And if you just say like I'm just like using the Polish keywords here because it's funnier. It's like I'm meowing for a cat. So you will see here, I'm just say like meow, and we have already the information like, okay, this is that are the toys which are meowing somehow. And if you go for the information, you will see that this is a cat, yes. So you don't really have to say a cat, or you don't really have to say something very specific. You just use keywords which will describe this this element. You don't really have to know how this really, what is the name of this element, yeah. And this is exactly how the Google works, how the machine learning works. So they understand what is the topic about, and then if you just use elements from this topic, they will give you the results. So you can say about, I would like to go for a country which has, I don't know, where the Rome is, and they will give you the detailed information about the Italy, yes? So you don't really have to use the keywords, because already the system, it's built in the way where they really understand the topic. In some languages, when the topic modeling is not really built very well, but this is like very few languages, it's not working as well. But in most of the languages, and the same like 170 plus languages, the same like we have, this topical modeling, it's working very, very well. So you don't really have to use a keyword anymore. You just have to use some kind of more like a topic guide, and then you have exact answer.
Wow. Okay, that's require a lot of mindset change in the mindset. Yeah, so you can rank with topic but not keyword. So
you can rank on some topic without the using the keyword. That's true.
Yeah.
You can rank for Italy. I mean, like, if there is a really high competition, then you have to use it, yes. But there are some topics where, for example, if this is like a long tail keyword, then you don't have to sometimes use this long tail keyword to rank it. And the very good example that everyone can check, it's your Google Search Console. If you look in your Google Search Console for level of the URL, so you have the URL, it could be your main page, let's say homepage. Then you open the Search Console, and in the Search Console, you will have a lot of very detailed keywords that you don't have on the page. You don't have them on the page. And they already understand that your page is about the topic X, and those keywords are on the topic X as well. And they try to propose this content to the audience because they don't have anything better. So they see like, okay, you are writing about the SEO in your native language. You are one of the 3 persons in the country which are writing about the SEO. We will try to push your content, even if the content is not exactly on the topic. So they try to do something like, we don't have this book, but we have another book, and maybe it will be good as well. Yes. So this is exactly what they do.
So, guys, ya, buat rekan-rekan, ya, saya mau cerita sedikit nih. So kita akan bicara tentang neuron writer, ya. Neuron writer ini adalah tools yang Pawel sedang kembangkan, ya, advanced content editor with semantic model, dan ini satu-satunya saya rasa yang support bahasa Indonesia, ya, saat ini, ya. Dan sebelum kita minta Pawel sedikit mendemokan, ya, buat kalian nanti akan ada giveaway ya, jadi kalian tunggu sampai akhir acara, kita akan giveaway 1 license ya untuk kalian yang beruntung ya. Nah, kalian akan melihat di sini, wah harganya ini berapa? Wah harganya, wah ini bulanan sekian ya. Tapi jangan khawatir ya, karena saya mau mendukung Pawel di acara ini juga. Jadi kalau kalian yang ingin ya mendukung Neuron Writer dan ingin mendapatkan Neuron Writer hanya 1 kali bayar, kalian bisa masuk ke app Sumo ya. Jadi ada di app Sumo ya. Ini bayarnya hanya 1 kali ya. Jadi kalian bayar sekali seumur hidup. Tentunya di sini ada paket-paketnya ya. Ya, kalian bisa up to 5 code ya. Kalau kalian ngerasa ini baik ya. Kalau apa kalian ngerasa semantik itu baik, kalian ingin analisa, nggak punya toolsnya dan lain sebagainya. So this is the tools ya. Pawel, can you provide like quick 5 minutes before we will wrap up, yeah? And
yeah, sure. Let's do it very quick because time is going on. So I will do the very quick why you should use it, not maybe how, but more like why. So let's say, first of all, so I'm showing my screen. Yes. Okay. So first of all, what you can do. So here is the example of the light shoes for the marathon. So you are going to run the marathon, and you need something which is light and sufficient for the marathon. And typically, what you can do from the start, you can just make it a draft because you don't have the content. So you have to first understand what it's the chapters of your ebook. If you have to write the ebook about the marathon and shoes for the marathon, what should be the chapters? So we are using the draft for this. And here you can choose what are the headers, like a chapters should be in your article. Okay, so like what they are for women and the best ones and which brands, for example. Okay, best overall. So I can say like, okay, this is the best one. Yes. So first what you do, you just choose the chapters that should be in your article or your, for example, product page or category page, whatever. So this is from your competitors, and that are the questions from Google. Yes. So should I wear new shoes for the marathon? And probably you shouldn't, yes, because they are just new. So that's are the topics where you can already explain to your audience the most common questions, because this is something what they are searching for, and also give to the machines information that your content is expert content. So this is something where the machines will understand, okay, he wrote about, 7 different chapters in the ebook, and they are related to the topic, is good. Then you can copy this draft. Of course, this draft should be way longer. You can copy this draft to editor. You can use the AI. In the AI, we are also having the keywords that should be in the content. You can use the AI for a little bit help to create the content for you. But indeed, this is something that we don't really. Anyway, you have to check it later. Yeah. So this is something. Yes, what you can.
Automatic writing. Yeah. Right.
Automatic writing. AI writing, you have to check it. I'm just like, because we are giving you the chance here for that. And I'm using this just to speed up the process. And we give you the information about, how long it should be in average, how easy to read it should be in average, because there are some topics which should be easier for read. And if you're expert and the content is expert content, it could be a little bit difficult for it. It's fine as well. And then we give you information about what kind of keywords you should use as a basic keyword. So basic keywords are like, your basic school vocabulary. If you go to the basic school, you just have a few words. And then extended are more like your high school vocabulary or university vocabulary. You have much more keywords here, and they are still related to the main subject. So the goal here is to use those terms which are in the sidebar and enrich the content with those terms. Also do the title and description related to the correct I will say this one, to the correct terms, and we will go for something which is also important here. I will just show you how this works from where the points are in the content score. So you have information about, the click worthy, because Google asked us to do the click worthy titles and click worthy descriptions. So it should be something interesting for the end user. And then you have a content. Right now, of course, there is no content. So there is why there is so many. So I will take one of the keywords, something like that. This is the model of the shoe, so we'll just add it here. So your goal indeed is to enrich the content in the way how we recommend you, and those recommendations are from the competitors that you have choose. So you can here choose the competitors right now, yeah. So you can say like, okay, this one I don't like, and this one I don't like as well, and then you can just update this. And when you update it, you will have only the competitors that you would like to write the similar content to your competitors mostly, yes, because like here you can see that there is a mix of the URLs. So it's not really like only one type. Here you have like the blogs, which are just giving you the multiple results, like 7, 20, and so on, the best. But you have also the categories. Yes, so you can have the categories, like the category here is like category from the newbalance.co.uk. This is a category for the men running shoes, and it's also ranking. So it could be your e-commerce category. It could be a blog where you have to choose which one is better for you and which one has a better chances. Here looks like the better chances has a page where you list one above the next one, so you can always open the first position and see what is the content type that Google prefers. So this is the content type, and people are willing to read the reviews and some kind of this is just more like reviews, because here you have the pros, cons, so they can choose one from, I don't know, 20. That's the user intent when they are searching for this lightweight, light shoes for the marathon. And basically, we are giving you here the information what you should do more. Like, okay, the title, description, headers, meta title, and everything. Here you have the exact information what should be improved to give the better scores and to have a better chance to rank with the content on the let's say Google in this case particularly. I believe for 5 minutes, that's all. There is a lot of much more options than that. But for just very quick process, you go for a draft, you do the outline for the content, then you fill the content according to the terms in articles, terms in headers. We give you the information of the content score level. You can write the content better and better and better, and that's in general. This is how the tool works and how the tool can help you to write a more expert content, to be honest, because this what we are really trying to give you is the information on the term level. What is the topical authority? What are the terms related to this subject? So what people are searching, what people are writing about the light shoes for the marathon.
Oh, wow ya. Jadi kita baru aja ngelihat sebuah tools ya yang benar-benar dioptimasi untuk menulis ya. Jadi Neuron Writer is not competitor of SEMrush, is not competitor of Ahrefs ya. Jadi ini benar-benar tools untuk menulis ya. Jadi dan saat ini ya rekan-rekan Standout ya, kalian bisa ya supporting Neuron Writer karena dia salah satu yang bisa support bahasa Indonesia untuk NLP-nya ya. Jadi kalau kalian suka dengan konsep semantik ya, kalian bisa langsung aja beli di AppSumo, itu 1 kali bayar ya. Karena di AppSumo, I think AppSumo will be until the end of this month ya. After that ya.
Yeah, the marketplace is till the end of the month.
Yeah, okay. Ya. Nah, we going to have a giveaway, tapi sebelum kita giveaway, saya mau sedikit kasih ulang informasi dari acara yang akan di-running oleh Ryan Christo ya. So Ryan, Ini is it for international or for local? So your target market?
For both. Jadi buat
Both,
semuanya, buat orang luar ataupun orang Indonesia.
Because we have international audience in our YouTube anyway. So
Okay.
So yeah, perhaps you can tell us about the forum before we wrap up and like do a giveaway.
Okay, thank you, Victor. So yeah, we as maybe some of you know that I ran a conference called Asiacon Jakarta, where we gather as a SEO community to learn more about SEO, and we are doing something different for this year. We add another event. It's called Asiacon Forum, where we're gonna hold it in Bali on 1 until 3 December 2022. It's gonna be a relaxing and mind-blowing event for you to learn about SEO, not on the technical part or strategy part, but you gonna learn on the broader perspective for SEO for the business, how you can apply the business, how you can apply the SEO to grow the business well. So there's gonna be international speakers,
combined with local, practitioner,
with local practitioner because it's Asiacon. So we're gonna gather as SEOs, digital marketers, practitioners to the event. The content will be open up your mindset, just like today's session. It's gonna be today's session is very open-minded. We
a lot of aha moment, Ryan.
A lot of aha moment. We see SEO on the different perspective. That's why I love to learn from people from outside of Indonesia or Southeast Asia, where we learn more. So that's why I also invite some friends from UK, Lukash, John, to come and visit Bali because it's after pandemic. We need a bit healing. We need a bit vacation, especially you if you are doing a lot of works this year. Please come and join us. It's gonna be a fun and interactive with a small. It's gonna be a small, not that many people because during the Asiacon, it's gonna be 1,000 people on the room. Today, the Asiacon Forum will be like maximum 150 because of the capacity and the regulation. So yeah, come and join us so we can chat, we can learn together, and we can have fun.
Dan ini kita pakai bahasa Indonesia aja nih.
Okay.
Biar teman-teman yang dari luar negeri nggak ngerti.
Yes.
Bahwa untuk Indonesia harganya beda ya.
Jadi kita ada spesial karena kita mau ngundang orang dari luar juga, tapi kalau orang dari dalam, orang dari Indonesia harus juga dapat harus dapat penawaran spesial dong ya.
Iya.
Jadi kalau misalnya di luar itu untuk orang-orang di luar kita harganya itu $1,049. Kalau teman-teman lihat di asiacon.id itu ada pricingnya. Tapi untuk kita di Indonesia itu bisa dapetin kurang lebih kayak 70% diskon.
70% diskon.
Jangan pakai bahasa Inggris bro, katanya bahasa nanti
Oh
mereka.
iya, kedengeran.
Ya. Jadi ada special arrangement untuk yang dari Indonesia. Please buka di asiacon.id, langsung kontak ke kontak, ada kontaknya di situ, atau bisa DM saya, nanti saya kasih tahu linknya di mana untuk pendaftaran
untuk yang lokal ya.
Indonesia. Ya.
Oke ya, jadi diskonnya 70. Ya, gue nggak jangan ngomong bahasa Inggris lagi, ceplosan lagi.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, so before we wrap up, and end this webinar, thank you, Pawel, for your time. Thank you for making Neuro Writer available for Indonesians. I think this is a great tool. I wish that it will be as successful as other premium SEO tools like Server, Ahrefs, Semrush. I think one of the tools, someday I think in every practitioner in Indonesia probably would be Neuro Writer. Yeah. And okay, we're going to have a giveaway. Yeah. Jadi we are going to have a giveaway for everyone who attend this webinar until the end, that a license for Neuro Writer. Okay. So everything will be done in YouTube. Yeah. So I don't have to like different have to scatter here and there. Ya, harus ke sini ke sana ya untuk memonitor jawaban tercepat ya, karena ini kita akan kasih license ya Neuro Writer. Jadi jawabannya di YouTube ya. Semua siap ya? Ayo tulis kata siap dong, biar saya juga tahu nih siapa yang who going to win the license of Neuro Writer ya. Oke, ya. Pertanyaannya, Bro Ryan, siapin pertanyaannya Bro Ryan. Siapin dulu ya, gue ngoceh-ngoceh dulu. Belum kepikir. Ya, Sugeng, Haryanto, hai, siap. Rizka, hai, Dedik, siap ya.
Ini pertanyaan susah, pertanyaan gampang nih.
Hah?
Pertanyaan susah atau pertanyaan gampang?
Apa aja, yang jelas ya, jawaban pertama yang muncul di top chatnya YouTube itu yang kita pilih ya. Soalnya saya nggak mau melihat ke Facebook, melihat ke LinkedIn, ya, melihat kemana-mana ya. Jadi kalian harus scatter di YouTube kita ya. Jadi YouTube-nya di Standout ya. Saya akan kasih listnya sekali lagi. So we're going to judge the winner through our Facebook, for our YouTube ya. So this is going to be the link ya for us to find the winner. Ryan, udah ada belum ininya? Ya.
Gua yang gampang aja ya, yang gampang ya. Yang gampang ya. Tadi kan pakai tools. Pakai tools yang dibuat sama Pawel. Oke. Apa nama toolsnya?
Oke, apa nama tools yang Pawel generate? What's the name of the tools that Pawel built with his team? Oke, kita akan nunggu lagging, bos. Kalau YouTube agak lagging.
6 detik.
Oke, we found a winner, ya. Dan ini pemenangnya langsung dari YouTube, ya. Wow, Pawel, you cannot answer your own. So, yes, it's Neuro Writer. Yeah, so the winner is Diligenta Persistema, ya. So, Kak Diligenta Persistema ya, nanti silakan message saya lewat email di victoriwan@doxadigital atau PM saya melalui Facebook ya, melalui Facebook dari dari Facebook saya ya, Japri ya. Ya, saya kasih ulang ya. Jadi silakan email saya di victor.iwan@doxadigital ya, atau PM saya di Facebook ya. Nanti emailnya saya butuh kasih daftar ke Pawel, so Pawel can register your license of Neuro Writer. Ya, so for anyone ya who also like to get Neuro Writer as its best price ever ya. Ini one time purchase ya, dari kalian nggak usah langganan ya, one time purchase ya, thanks to Pawel and his team ya, to launch this on AppSumo. Jadi kalian bisa dapat Neuro Writer ya, satu kali bayar ya. Kalau kalian mau lihat fitur-fiturnya, di sini ada 3 stack for gold ya. Jadi Pawel, I would like to provide explanation about the tier ya. So jadi satu kode itu satu paket. Jadi kalau kalian lihat Neuro Writer ya, so one code means you have the bronze plan. So kalau kalian beli dua, so if you buy 2 codes, you will have access lifetime for silver plan. Ya, 3 code gold plan, platinum 4 codes, and 5 codes is diamond plan.
Is it until 5 codes, Pawel?
Yes, you can use up to 5 codes, but those code number 5 and code number 4, they don't give you anything else than the more resources. Yes, higher limits.
It's only higher limits. Tapi kalau fitur ya di gold plan udah cukup. Ya, jadi kalau kalian bikin konten yang mau banyak, projectnya banyak, kayak tempatnya Toffee Dev-nya Bro Ryan. Look, 5 code bos. Ya, 50 project ya. And also this also have team member function, right, Pawel?
Yes, from the Gold you have team member function where you can share everything on the 3 levels with your team, with your external copywriter, and with customer.
Ya, jadi ada akses buat kalian ya. Sebentar nih, mengganggu nih ininya. Ya, itulah. Nah, jadi kalau kalian di tiga codes ya, kalian bisa akses untuk team member. Jadi kalau kalian punya teman-teman freelancer, copywriter, bisa kasih share akses ya. Oke, so ayo kita bikin kalian jangan sampai ketinggalan karena setelah ini kalian harus bayar bulanan. Ya, jadi saya kasih 2 informasi ya. Jadi yang pertama Asiacon ya forum, silakan daftar yang bahasa Indonesia, bisa DM harga khusus kalau kalian mau neuron ada di AppSumo ya. Dan tentunya kedua tambahan informasi tambahan ini tidak mengurangi ya materi dasar kita tentang semantic SEO. So thank you Pawel, thank you Ryan for your time, for your great opportunity for us as practitioner to increase our capacity ya. Ryan through the conference, Pawel through your tools ya. Hopefully we can meet again ya. Thanks for productive information meeting with us ya. I'm Victor ya. Saya akhiri webinar kita. Semoga kita semua tetap sehat. Sampai ketemu di webinar selanjutnya. Thank you Pawel. Thank you Ryan.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Maybe last question. Yeah. The person who won Diligenta per Sistema, maybe you can at least write your part of your email address.
Yeah. I'll ask her or him to write to me the email address and I will send it to you. Ya.
Okay.
Ya, jadi yang menang ya kalau nggak klaim dalam waktu setengah jam hangus ya buat saya.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. Bye.
Thank you semua.